My name is Deidre Bukowski, and I'm going to talk about knowing the difference between ignorance on the web and finding the truth. Dan Gilmore, I think, was mostly trying to say in these chapters was be skeptical about what media you read, but don't be over-cynical over media today. Before I get to Dan Gilmore and Media Active, I'm going to talk about some of the academic journals that I researched. And one was about a digital divide. It was from two professors from Malaysia. I have the lovely site right down there. And there's an access divide, skills divide, economic opportunity divide, and the democratic divide. It just talks about education, technical competence, and people with computer knowledge to know how they work with their materials and how well they can actually put a media site out there and if it would be credible or not. But then also, I found another journal that talks about the different levels of trust, and this is how you can look at a website and see how you can trust it. You can do trusted news information. If you hear a completely bizarre story, you should probably look more into it. You can also do trusted those who deliver the news. I mean, as me, I would much rather believe a friend than I would a teacher, but usually you should stick with a more credible source. And trust the media corporations. You would most likely trust New York Times over a tabloid. And then finally moving on to Dan Gilmore, Media Active. Even a good journalist is capable of small or large flaws. Very true. So a lot of journalists do things to get to people and or get their story out first. There's two-side fallacies, and this is kind of like there's more than two sides to one story, but what a journalist will do will take the complete extremes of the story so that both sides are happy. And then paid to persuade is they're designed to persuade public and public officials. So it's kind of like I feel like they're advertising their information just so they get all the attention of it. You have to be careful on who you do trust. People trust people close to them. It helps to a point, but also depends on what the subject is. Say if I want to know something close to home, I'm going to trust my friends and family and peers. But if I want to find out about national security, I should probably look at New York Times or something that pertains to that. But there's a thing called being too cynical. A lot of people just block out media today because a lot of it is who gets out the news first, and it's not completely checked through, and it's not thorough. But according to Dan Gilmore, we cannot be too cynical, blocking out all media we think is false. That gives the worst people even more leeway. And it's true, if we don't pay attention, don't ask questions, they'll make people just write whatever they want. And you can stay away from untrustworthy media. Stick with credible sources. If you stick with topic-specific aggregation, this helps because it has it's information from experts. Common sense is a really good way. And then there's credibility scale. That's in Media Active in Chapter 3. Negative would be an anonymous comment on a blog. Citizen media, which would be 0, would be blog. New York Times is at a 30. I think Scott Rosenberg's list from Media Active paraphrased is the best at rating of what you can say is credible and not getting lost in lies of media. And you can ask yourself, does the site tell you who runs it? Is someone taking responsibility for being published? And investigate the person and or company. Are the ads relevant to the main purpose of the site? You can look up the Internet Archive. Did it once reveal information that it now hides? And look at the source code. Now, hopefully this is helpful to you, and so you don't get lost in media and fall for a lot of its tricks. Thank you.